video is going to be teaching you how to write a persuasive letter. We've already written letters before in kindergarten, so this is just teaching you how to do a persuasive letter. So let's get started. In your packets, you should have a page that looks like this. It says Writing Letters Information Page. We're going to be talking through every part on that page so you don't have to worry about it. In your packets, you should also have your letter. It looks like this. It's a blank template where you can write your letter, and at the bottom, it has a rectangle that looks like this. It has a bunch of check boxes in it. We're going to be going through and checking off all of those pieces of our letter. Our persuasive letter is going to look a lot like our regular letter that we wrote last week. Now, here's what's different about a persuasive letter. Persuasive writing is when you're trying to persuade someone to get what you want. So there are three different ways we can persuade someone in kindergarten. We can persuade them or try to get them to do something, like I might persuade you to recycle because it's good for our earth. You might persuade someone to give you something, like you might persuade your family to buy you a new teddy bear. Or you could persuade someone to believe something, like I want to persuade you that tigers are the best animal in the whole world. I want you to believe that tigers are the best animal in the whole world. So to do something, to give you something, or to get something, and to believe something are the three things that we use in our persuasive writing in kindergarten. Now, first, when we're writing a letter, we need to think about who are we writing the letter to. Maybe you're going to write it to your mom, your dad, your grandma, your sister, your friend, your teacher. There's lots of people we can write letters to. You're going to choose 3 people this week to write a letter to, so start thinking about who you want to write to. Today, I think I'm going to write a letter to my sister because I haven't written a letter to her in a while. So I'm choosing to write a letter to my sister, and I think I can persuade her to do some things for me. Next, we need to do our greeting. So we write our greeting at the top of our letter where the writing goes, not where the picture is, but the top where the writing is. And you have a couple different choices. My sister's name is Erin, so I could say, Dear Erin. I could say, Hi, Erin. I could say, Good morning, Erin. I think I'm going to stick with Dear because it's already in the letter for me. So now I need to write her name right next to it. Dear Erin. That's my greeting. I thought of who I'm writing my letter to. I wrote my greeting. Now I'm ready to move on to the next part, which is what? What do you want to persuade your people to do? That's going to go in the main body of your letter. What do you want the reader to do for you? Do I want her to give me something? Do I want her to do something? You know what I want? My sister Erin makes the best chocolate chip cookies. I think I'm going to persuade her to make me some chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to say that in my letter. I'm going to say, Erin, I really like your chocolate chip cookies. Could you make me some? I'm asking her to do something for me. I'm asking her to make me chocolate chip cookies. So at the bottom, after I'm done asking her my question, I can check off the part that says asked a question. There, I'm all done with that part. I am trying to persuade her to make me some chocolate chip cookies, but first I have to ask her. So I said, could you make me some? That's my question. Now we're going to go on to the next part of our letter, which is my 2 reasons why. When I'm persuading someone, if I just said, could you make me chocolate chip cookies? And that's it. She might want to know why. Why do you want me to make you chocolate chip cookies? I have to persuade her, give her 2 reasons why. So here are my reasons. I'm going to say, I want to give them reasons why they should do things for me. I'm going to say, I want you to make me cookies because you're really good at it. She's a really good baker. So I'm going to ask her to make cookies because the first reason is because she's really good at it. And my second reason is we can eat them together. When I get to see my sister again, when she gets to come over to my house, I want to eat them together with her. So my 2 reasons are, number 1, she's really good at it. And number 2, we could eat them together, and that would be really fun. So then she gets to have some cookies, and I get to have some cookies, and we can do it together. So those are my 2 reasons, which is just like in our regular letter, we write 2 or more sentences. So I can check or cross off 2 or more sentences at the bottom of my letter. We're on the way to being finished. We're almost done here. Now, the next part is our closing. Our closing goes at the bottom of our letter. I have a lot of choices. I could say from, love, sincerely, your friend, or your sister. I'm going to stick with from because it's already on the page. The next part, the last part of my writing is sign my name, and that goes on that line. So I'm going to write from Mrs. Blatchley. Check, and I can cross off the signed my name part at the bottom of my letter. All right, now we're gonna go back and do some fixing. Make sure my letter is perfect. The last 3 boxes are always things we do at the end. We have to double check if we have our spaces. Here is the sentence, could you make me some? But can you read that? No, I can't really read that. I need to make sure I put spaces in between all of my words. Otherwise, you can't read it. So make sure you use your finger. Write your word, put your finger down, write the word, put your finger down, write the word. So you have spaces between your words. I'm looking, I think I got all my spaces, so I crossed off the spaces part of my letter. The next thing I'm going to look and make sure I have is my punctuation. Remember, there are 3 kinds of punctuation we use in kindergarten. We have a period, we have a question mark, and we have an exclamation mark. So if I'm writing a sentence like this, I really like your cookies. That's just a statement. I'm going to put a period at the end. If I'm asking a question, could you make me some? I'm going to put a question mark at the end of that. And if I'm really excited, I could say, we can eat them together. I'm going to put an exclamation mark at the end of that. So I'm looking, I see all my punctuation is in my letter. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to cross off punctuation. Then there's one last thing I need to check, and that's make sure I have my capital letters. So we use capital letters at the beginning of a sentence, like, could you make me some? I have a capital C, a tall C at the beginning of that sentence. And then names. My name is Mrs. Blatchley, so my M and my B are capitalized in my name. And Erin has a capital E at the beginning of her name. So names have a capital letter at the beginning, and sentences have a capital letter. I'm looking down. I think I've got them all, so I'm going to put an X there to cross off that I have all my capital letters. Now, there's one last thing that I'm going to do in my letter, and that is draw a picture. I'm going to draw a picture of the chocolate chip cookies that Miss Erin, my sister, is going to make for me. I'm super excited. And I'm also going to draw a picture of her making the chocolate chip cookies for me, because I think that will really help persuade her to do something for me. Now that I'm all finished with my letter, I'm going to send my letter. So I can send my letter in the mail. Make sure you've got a stamp and write down their address. Or you can take a picture of your letter and send it on your phone or send it on your computer to your person that you're going to send the letter to. And when you're finished this week, you're going to write some more letters. You're going to write 3 letters this week, 3 different people that you can write a letter to. Remember, you don't have to mail it if you don't want to. You can just take a picture and send it to them on the internet. All right, kinder friends, have fun writing with your persuasive letters. I'm excited to hear all of the things you were able to persuade people to do. Bye, kinder friends.